You keep wondering when things will change, when you'll finally feel different, stronger, braver, more confident, but it's not about waiting for change to happen. It's about choosing it. You don't become the person you admire by staying who you've always been. You become her by acting like her before you fully believe you are her. That version of you who doesn't chase, who doesn't beg, who doesn't wait around for scraps of attention. She's not far away. She's just waiting for you to stop settling. And it's not about arrogance, it's about alignment. When you decide you are no longer available for people who don't see your value, the game changes, not because they change, but because you did. Stop thinking your worth is tied to what you do for others. You are not lovable because of your usefulness. You are lovable because of your essence. And when you finally stop overgiving to prove you deserve love, you give yourself permission to receive the kind of love that doesn't need convincing. The love that's right for you will never make you feel like you have to audition for it. If it costs you your dignity, your peace, your truth, it's not love, it's a performance, and the moment you choose to step off that stage, you free yourself to connect with something real. Something whole, something that actually sees you. Most people don't leave situations that drain them because they're weak. They stay because they've been taught that loyalty is more important than self-respect. But real loyalty begins with being loyal to yourself, and if someone requires you to betray yourself in order to stay connected to them, that's not loyalty, that's self-abandonment. You don't have to become cold to become strong. You don't have to shut down to protect your heart. You just have to stop confusing emotional availability with emotional sacrifice. Being open-hearted doesn't mean being wide open to anyone. It means being open to what aligns and walking away from what doesn't, without guilt. You want someone who chooses you, not because they finally ran out of options, but because they recognize your rarity. But here's the secret. They won't recognize your rarity until you do. People treat you like you treat you. So when you start honoring yourself, respecting your own time, your energy, your body, your boundaries, the right ones rise to meet that energy. The wrong ones disappear. Confidence isn't loud. It doesn't need attention. It doesn't prove or persuade. It simply is. It shows up in the silence after you say no, without explaining yourself. It lives in the peace of being alone, rather than being with someone who makes you feel alone. It speaks when you walk away from a connection that almost gave you what you needed, but not quite. And yes, almost is seductive. It keeps you hoping, but almost is still not enough. You weren't born to be almost loved, almost respected, almost chosen. You were born to be seen fully. And that starts by seeing yourself fully first. You don't need to prove your worth. You need to stop entertaining people who make you question it. When you raise your standards, people will call you difficult. They'll say you've changed, and they'll be right. You have changed. You've stopped apologizing for wanting more. You've stopped explaining why your heart needs what it needs. You've stopped editing yourself to keep people comfortable. And yes, that will make some people uncomfortable, but that's not your problem. It's their invitation to rise. You don't rise by becoming more palatable. You rise by becoming more you. And every time you shrink to fit someone else's expectations, you dilute your magic. The real you, the bold you, the intuitive you, the soft and powerful you, is not too much. She's just too much for people still healing from their own unworthiness. Your softness is not a weakness. Your empathy is not a flaw. You don't need to harden to survive. You just need discernment. Not everyone deserves access to the parts of you that you give so freely. Energy is currency, and just because someone asks for your time or your care doesn't mean they've earned it. It's not your job to rescue people from their patterns. It's not your job to fix them, heal them, or carry them. You can love deeply and still let go. You can have compassion without making yourself a casualty. And the more you learn to sit with the discomfort of letting go, the more you open up space for something better to arrive. Healing isn't about becoming someone else. It's about coming home to who you were before the world taught you to be smaller. It's not about building walls, it's about creating boundaries, boundaries that protect your peace, boundaries that say, I am no longer available for relationships that cost me my joy. Sometimes the bravest thing you can do is to stop trying to make it work. Stop trying to be the exception. Stop trying to prove that you're worth staying for, because you are, but the people who need proof will never believe it. You are not meant to chase love. You are meant to attract it by being exactly who you are, without apology, without compromise. And yes, that might mean being alone for a season. That might mean losing people you thought would stay, but loss is not always a punishment. Sometimes it's a clearing, a necessary release so that what's meant for you can actually find you. Don't fear the silence. Don't rush to fill it with noise or distractions or people who only show up halfway. Sit in the silence and listen. That's where your truth lives. That's where your clarity comes. That's where you meet yourself again, the version of you who's been buried under other people's expectations. You were not born to be digestible. You were born to be whole. And when you stop watering yourself down to make people comfortable, something incredible happens. The people who are meant to love you really love you start to show up, because now they can finally find the real you, the whole you. You're not behind, you're not late, you're just unlearning the belief that your worth depends on someone else's ability to see it, unlearning the habit of proving your value through sacrifice, unlearning the fear that if you let go, nothing better will come, but it will, it always does, when you choose yourself. Not once, but over and over again, you become magnetic. Because people feel it. They feel when someone has stopped chasing, when someone has rooted into themselves. That's when the world starts to shift around you. You don't attract what you want. You attract what you are. So stop asking, why won't they choose me? And start asking, why am I still choosing them? If someone is inconsistent with you, it's not a mystery. It's clarity. If someone makes you feel unsure, that's your sign. Love is not confusing, it's not chaotic, it's not maybe. It's clear, it's steady, it's safe. You don't need closure from people who already showed you they weren't capable of honoring you. Closure doesn't come from conversations. It comes from decisions. The decision to choose peace over chaos, the decision to stop explaining your worth, the decision to walk away even if your heart wants to stay. Trust the version of you that shows up when you're done tolerating the bare minimum. That version of you, the one who sets boundaries, the one who says no, the one who stops over-explaining, is not bitter. She's clear. She's focused. She's becoming the woman who knows what she wants and isn't afraid to wait for it. The moment you stop asking, why don't they want me? And start asking, do I want them? Everything changes. You reclaim the power you've been handing out to people who never knew what to do with it. And you start choosing differently. You start choosing from abundance, not lack, from clarity, not fear. You were never too emotional. You were intuitive. You were never too sensitive. You were awake. You were never too intense. You were just honest in a world that fears truth. Don't let a wounded society convince you that your light is too bright. The people who are meant for you won't just accept your light. They'll expand in it. You are not hard to love. You are hard to manipulate. There's a difference. The more you love yourself, the more obvious it becomes who never really did. And that's not your cue to question your worth. That's your cue to rise, to say, I'm done making myself smaller so other people feel bigger. This season is about shedding, about letting go of relationships that require you to lower your standards. About releasing the need to fix, to prove, to beg. You're not losing people. You're losing the illusion that they were ever aligned with you. It's not your job to be liked by everyone. It's your job to like yourself. And when you do, you'll stop feeling drained around people who can't meet you where you are. You'll stop bending over backward to fit in. You'll stop feeling guilty for walking away. Confidence is not a performance. It's not about pretending to have it all together. It's about showing up anyway, even when you feel scared, even when you feel messy, even when you're not sure what the next step is. Confidence is knowing that whatever happens, you'll handle it. Because you've handled worse before, you don't need to do more to be worthy. You don't need to be less needy, more chill, more mysterious, more perfect. You just need to be you, the real you, the one you've been hiding under layers of people pleasing. The one who knows deep down that she's meant for more. And when you start honoring that woman, when you start listening to her, protecting her, standing up for her, that's when life starts meeting you at your worth. Not a second before, because the world reflects back to you the energy you carry. So carry yourself like you matter, because you do. You don't rise by being chosen. You rise by choosing yourself in rooms where you used to shrink. The truth is, most people spend their lives trying to be enough for others and forget to be enough for themselves. They wait for validation, for applause, for someone to finally say, "You are worthy." But the moment you realize that you were already enough, the entire game changes. When you no longer chase love, opportunities, or validation, they begin to find you, not because you're doing anything different, but because your energy has changed. You're no longer approaching life from a place of lack. You're no longer seeking proof of your worth. You're living it, and that kind of energy is magnetic. You don't have to be louder to be heard. You don't have to be harder to be respected. You just have to be clear. Clarity is power. When you know who you are, what you want, and what you will and won't tolerate, you stop entertaining people who make your life feel heavy. You stop giving second chances to people who knew better the first time. The version of you that's coming doesn't beg. She doesn't chase. She doesn't explain her boundaries. She doesn't abandon herself just to be loved. She loves herself first, and because of that, she sets the tone for how others treat her. She doesn't need to be liked to be at peace. She just needs to be aligned. You're not here to play small. You're not here to make others comfortable by staying silent. You're not here to swallow your needs, your dreams, your intuition just to keep the peace. Real peace isn't found in keeping everyone else happy. It's found in being unapologetically honest with yourself, even when it's messy, even when it costs you people who were never truly for you. Sometimes your glow-up won't be visible to the world. It won't look like money or a relationship or a new job. Sometimes your glow-up is internal. It's the moment you no longer tolerate disrespect, the moment you stop overthinking every text, the moment you stop fighting for people who wouldn't even meet you halfway. That kind of glow-up doesn't get applause, but it gets freedom. You have to stop trying to convince people to love you. If it's not obvious, it's not real. If you have to beg for clarity, it's manipulation. If you constantly feel confused, it's not your fault. It's by design. You weren't meant to live in emotional chaos. You were meant to thrive in certainty, clarity, consistency, and if someone can't offer that, it's your cue to walk away. You don't need to heal to be worthy of love, but you do need to heal to stop confusing pain for passion, to stop accepting chaos as chemistry, to stop seeing inconsistency as a challenge to overcome. Healing helps you see clearly, and once you see clearly, the things you used to beg for will no longer interest you. You'll stop trying to change people who have already shown you their limits. You'll stop hoping that if you just love harder, they'll finally show up. And you'll finally understand it's not your job to be more lovable. It's your job to stop loving people who can't meet you. The most powerful shift happens when you no longer react from your wounds, but respond from your worth. That's when your standards become unshakable. That's when you stop second, guessing your gut. That's when you finally realize you were never asking for too much. You were just asking the wrong person. And the reason you keep attracting the same patterns is because you keep ignoring your first instinct. You feel the red flags, you sense the misalignment, but your desire for connection overrides your self-trust. So here's the shift. Start choosing peace over potential. Start choosing patterns over promises. Start choosing alignment over attachment. You don't have to know what's next to know what no longer belongs. If it costs you your peace, it's too expensive. If it makes you question your worth, it's not meant for you. And if it doesn't grow you, it's shrinking you. You can't keep watering dead plants and expecting them to bloom. Some things are meant to be let go. Some things are lessons, not lifetimes. You are not hard to love. You are hard to play. And the people who are used to manipulating others won't know what to do with someone who has standards. They'll call you difficult, they'll say you've changed, they'll try to guilt you into going back, but the truth is, they were never equipped to meet the real you, only the version of you that didn't know her worth. And now you do. Now you don't answer texts that make your stomach drop. Now you don't chase apologies that should come freely. Now you don't sit in rooms where you feel invisible just to say you're not alone. Now you know that solitude is better than company that drains you. It's not rejection when someone shows you they can't meet you. It's redirection. It's life protecting you from what would have broken you. Every time you don't get what you thought you wanted, you're getting something better. Truth, clarity, freedom, and the ability to choose differently next time. Not everyone will understand your journey. Not everyone will like your standards, and that's okay. You're not building a life for everyone. You're building a life for you, and that life starts the moment you stop abandoning yourself for people who were never meant to stay. Let them go. Let them misunderstand you. Let them think you're too much. Let them move on, because what's meant for you doesn't need convincing. It doesn't need to be chased. It arrives and it stays. Not because you begged for it, but because you finally became a match for it. Your glow-up starts when you realize you don't have to earn love by suffering, that real love doesn't hurt more than it heals, that being chosen doesn't feel like anxiety. It feels like peace, like safety, like ease, and yes, it will feel boring at first, because your nervous system was trained to equate chaos with love. But don't confuse calm with lack of passion. Passion without safety is just adrenaline, but passion with peace, that's where real magic lives. You are worthy of soft love, of consistent love, of love that doesn't test you to prove you're worthy. You are worthy of mornings without tears and nights without second guessing. You are worthy of love that doesn't punish you for having a heart. You don't have to heal alone, but you do have to choose yourself. Over and over, especially when it would be easier to go back to what's familiar, especially when your loneliness screams louder than your standards, especially when your heart still misses the people who hurt it. That's where your power lies, in the decision to stay true to your worth even when it hurts, in the ability to say no more, even when your body is shaking, in the courage to sit in the emptiness until life brings you something real. This is not the season to beg. This is the season to build. Build your self-trust. Build your boundaries. Build your peace. Because when you build from alignment, what you attract will never threaten what you've built. You were not sent here to survive love. You were sent here to thrive in it, to be met, seen, celebrated. But first, you have to do that for yourself. The world reflects what you believe about you. So believe you are a masterpiece. Not a project, not a puzzle, not a fixer-upper, a masterpiece. The woman who knows her worth doesn't need to convince anyone. She doesn't compete. She doesn't chase. She aligns. She attracts. She embodies. And because she's full within, she's never hungry for crumbs. That's your new identity. Not the girl who begs, but the woman who chooses. Not the girl who proves, but the woman who walks away. Not the girl who waits, but the woman who aligns. You didn't lose them. They lost access to you. That is not a loss. That is a leveling up. You're not punishing anyone by walking away. You're protecting yourself. You're preserving your energy for the love that deserves it, for the connection that feeds you, for the life that's waiting on the other side of enough. Stop texting first. Stop waiting for them to figure it out. Stop trying to read between the lines. If someone wanted to, they would. If they cared, it would be clear. If they loved you, you wouldn't be wondering, and that wondering, that uncertainty, that confusion, that's your body begging you to choose peace. So choose it. Choose peace over attention. Choose respect over comfort. Choose truth over fantasy, and watch how your world transforms, because when a woman chooses herself, fully, completely, unapologetically, she becomes untouchable, not because she's closed off, but because she's finally open to the life she deserves. She's no longer available for almost, for maybe, for confusion disguised as connection. She is available for clarity, for effort, for love that feels like home. You don't get there by hoping. You get there by healing, by feeling every ache, every disappointment, every betrayal, and still choosing to rise, still choosing to open, still choosing to love yourself through the process. You are not too much. You are the standard. You are not hard to love. You are hard to fool. And you are not asking for a fairy tale. You are asking for effort, presence, truth, and that is not too much. That is the bare minimum. This is the year you stop settling. This is the season you come home to yourself. This is the moment you stop chasing love and start becoming it. The kind of love that doesn't abandon, betray, or break you. The kind that nourishes, honors, and stays. You are the love you've been waiting for, and when you finally meet her, the version of you who refuses to settle, you'll realize that everything you thought you lost was nothing compared to what you're about to gain.